Hey, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get kind of a pre-orientation to Pixlr before we really get into any of the editing stuff. So I just want to explain the interface and some of the aspects about getting photos in. So I opened up a document on Pixlr E, which you have two options when you get to the website. And I'll post text description on how to do that with a picture, just so it's not on the video, shorten the video quite a bit. Um, in this program, the default screen here is going to have this checker pattern. If you have a background color in there, it really doesn't matter at this point. I just want to point out a couple of locations that I want you to be aware of. The left are all your tools. This is where they are by default. And then on the upper right is your navigation. So if you zoom in, the red box here is the portion of the video or the window you can see, and you can drag it around like that to move to a specific area. You can zoom out, and you can actually zoom out quite a bit beyond the frame. The layers are right here, and we'll get into what layers are and how they work in the next video. But all your layers are here, and you want to know that so that you can find everything that you're working on, because it'll be very important to know how to get to that. Down here is your history, and you can go back quite a ways in your history, and you can jump forward. Try to avoid going back and forth too much, though. It can cause issues such as you'll undo stuff and can't redo stuff depending on how you kind of manipulate it. But you can kind of see your whole history here, which goes back quite considerably. So a couple of things I'm just going to show you right now so you know for the next video. There are two ways to bring in an image, because there will be options to bring in images that you choose as well as images that I will give you for tutorial purposes. And one way is to do the file browse, or sorry, not browse, but file open image, and do it that way. You can also open image URL if you have it, if you know the location of it, like you find it on a website. You can do that as well, but generally I'm going to want you to try to download the photo first just to make sure you have it, and then it's kind of just going to remove some of the potential problems that you might run into. So one way is that, open image, one of those. Another way is to drag an image in. So I'm dragging an image from my desktop, and it'll change the screen to drop to open file. When I do drop it in, it'll ask me if I want to create a new or add a current. If I create a new, it's going to make a completely different file, which I usually don't want, because usually I'm dropping in a couple of these to bring them together. So I'll just say add to current. This is a larger photo, so it does take a minute. If you are using photos that you take, your cell phone's probably going to be fine. Just try to avoid using your highest settings on your phone, because it'll take a minute. There we go. All right, so this is something I'm working on for another project, this photo. Keep in mind that if the image disappears or part of the image isn't visible, it's very likely just outside of the screen. And you can shrink the size of it if you hold it down. If you don't hold down anything, it'll go proportionately down. If you hold down shift, it'll stretch it out. This is a newer thing that they just did to this. So if you need to shrink it down, you can shrink it down, because you're probably going to be needing to at some point to make something bigger or smaller as we start to bring images together. So once I got this as I want, I'll hit enter. I can just click off of it. Just click off of it. There we go. And there it is. So I brought an image in. I opened up Pixlr. I can see my layers over here. Now there's two. And the next video will show you some things that you can do with layered editing.